and your favorite travel teacher, CEO of the Voluptuary Travel, and I am back today. It's going to be short, it's going to be brief, but in my research, I have a PhD in education for those that do not know, and I'm also constantly working on ways to build the Voluptuary brand. And I'm a mom, I'm a toddler mom, and so I posed a question to a group I was in about what are the fears of traveling um, with little ones, and I think this is a fear that people have with or without kids, right? But a lot of people are afraid and worried about getting sick while they travel. And I've found that whether you're going domestic, whether you're going international, you can get sick and things happen. You're eating out, you're not at home, it's a different environment. And I've personally gone through this myself. And I even had a gastroenterologist that I worked closely with when I was backpacking in my earlier travel days because I got really, really, really sick when I went to Southeast Asia for the first time. And I think I wanted to really kind of shed light on this by, of course, being a resource as always with some of the must pack items that you have to have. But I wanted to shed light on this because a lot of people are scared. A lot of people are scared about traveling. They don't want to get sick and they're afraid of traveling. And what happens if I travel and my little ones get sick? And it's happened. I've had, friends I've traveled with, I've gotten sick, they've gotten sick. And it happens, right? And I really just wanted to name that a lot of people are afraid of this happening to them. And so as your travel teacher, excuse me, who has gone through it, I wanted to first explain why that happens, right? Just so that we have some kind of base level understanding of what are some of the common causes of illness when you're traveling, but also to give you some must pack items that you need to make sure that you bring with you anytime you are going anywhere that's not home. Okay. These are my must pack items. I have a bag that I just keep them in. And if I don't use it, I reuse it again. And that's how I kind of keep them handy. But before I get to must pack items that you have that you must bring with you so that you don't get sick or to help you when you get sick, right? When I had my gastroenterologist, he helped me realize that what happens when we go anywhere that's not our home is that there are different bacteria. And there's bacteria everywhere. So it's not like we live in a place that's like extra clean or anything like that. It really is just that you are used to a certain type of bacteria in your home state, your hometown, your home, right? And so anytime you go somewhere that is different from that, there are going to be different bacteria that your body is exposed to. And some of us have a higher risk tolerance. If you've heard of anyone who has an iron stomach, they have a higher risk tolerance and are able to, you know, their bodies are able to deal with the bacteria, new bacteria, foreign bacteria, a lot easier or a lot, better than some of us who get sick and are more prone to getting sick when we travel. And so, I think the year was 2011. I went to Cambodia, I went to Vietnam, and I was eating it up. Like I was not gonna play. They had steaks for $8. I was like super excited, about just getting these really good food for cheap. I was trying all the things, eating street food and, doing all those types of stuff. And I know I did not try spiders. I have my limits. I'm not into that. I'm not that adventurous, but, I did get sick. I came back and I had an intestinal infection. The bacteria that I was exposed to over there, my body just was not having it and could not expel it. And I had to go to a gastroenterologist who is a stomach specialist, right? To help me get better. And so what ended up happening was anytime I would be traveling, I would go see my GI. I would go see my GI doctor. And he knew when he was seeing me, he's like, oh boy, where are you going now, little miss? Like, what's going on? And together, we actually worked on a plan to help mitigate me getting sick so that I wouldn't have to rely on drugs and I wouldn't have to rely on this super expensive medication that if you were not insured or don't have insurance, it's really hard to get. It's like 4,000 plus dollars to get certain types of gastrointestinal medication. And so with and under his tutelage, I was able to learn, how to kind of be ahead and how to protect my stomach after recovering from this, from, being sick, from, traveling and eating all this crazy stuff. And so, because I know a lot of people are scared about getting sick, and because I myself had gotten sick, from travel overseas, I wanted to make sure to have a travel chat about the must pack items that you need to have so that you can minimize getting sick and that you have the relief that you need because you have what you need at your disposal whenever you are traveling. And so I'm going to explain each of these items, of course, but I want to make sure to display them so that you know what the items are, and that you can make sure that you keep them on your packing list whenever you're getting ready to go anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're going domestic or international. Like I said, bacteria is different in different places, and you just never know what can happen to you. So, the first and most important one I would have to say are probiotics. So, probiotics are healthy bacteria that you put into your stomach to help offset the foreign bacteria that's going to come in anytime you go away. So, if you are someone who has a sensitive stomach, if you're someone who is prone to getting sick, you start taking your probiotics a week before you travel. I had the privilege of traveling to India, and I was super nervous and scared because I've heard that everyone that goes to India gets super sick. And so I had like a regimen. I was like, I'm not going to get sick. I need to make sure I bring all this stuff. And I was part of a travel group that really, kind of we spoke about it and we were all in on par of being prepared. So our level of preparedness was super high. And probiotics came up. And ever since then, ever since literally since 2015, if not before, I always have probiotics at home. You can take them daily, preventatively as a vitamin too, if you like. But if you just want to make sure that you're safe when you're traveling, you can start taking it a week before your travels or a few days before you travel. All throughout your travels, you take them, and then you take them for a week after you come back. And this is just to kind of flood your body with enough of the healthy germs and the healthy bacteria so that any kind of unknown bacteria doesn't throw everything in your tummy out of whack. So probiotics, number one, very important, to make sure that you have in your must pack items. The second thing, I would say too, is pain reliever. Sometimes just in traveling, you get tired, you get fatigued, you actually get dehydrated when you're flying, because of the air pressure. And that's something I also learned along the way of my travels. And so you can get headaches. If you're at a high altitude, you can be prone to headaches as well. I've been to Peru, and some South American countries are at a higher elevation. And so you want to make sure you have your pain reliever, whether it's Excedrin, Aleve, Advil, Tylenol, I don't care which one, bring all of them. They sell them as travel sizes, in all the pharmacies. And you just really want to make sure that you have pain relief on you at all, on your person at all times, so that you can be prepared if you're not feeling well and your body is adjusting to wherever you are traveling to. Even in the States, Denver has a higher, Colorado, excuse me, has a higher altitude. And so these are things that you just want to have on your person so that if you get sick, you can kind of get some relief. And of course, lots of water. The third one that I would say is a must have is Alka-Seltzer. I live and die by Alka-Seltzer personally. And I know that the brand has gotten hip to the game that people use it for hangovers because now they include a little bit of aspirin in all of the Alka-Seltzer that they sell. But Alka-Seltzer is really good in helping to keep your stomach calm, right? To calm your upset stomach down, to really kind of keep it. The bubbles really help if you're feeling nauseous, if that's one of your symptoms when you get sick. And so I always, always, always have like, 2 to 3 packs, maybe four of Alka Seltzer, so that if something gets me, I can kind of just take something proactively with some water and then just get ahead of it. Um, and obviously, the last one is Imodium AD. Now, it's not fun when you get sick, but more times than not, when you get sick, it will present as diarrhea. Okay. And so Imodium AD helps to stop when you get diarrhea because you've eaten something that just didn't digest properly. And I was on a trip with a friend of mine. We went to Morocco, and he was so sick, and I felt so bad. And literally, I had some in my bag and I was able to give him some so that he can have some relief. And he was like, oh my God, and like, thank you so much. Like, that's safe. Like, if I didn't get that, I would have died. And being in the room with him, obviously, it was blowing up in there. So it did not smell good. And so it was good to just have this thing on hand to be able to help get some relief from not being able to go anywhere because you have the runs, like nobody wants that. And so these are my four must pack items. And now that I'm saying that, it's not listed, but I just remembered that my son has a peanut allergy. And so he already has his EpiPen that we always travel with. And, wherever we are, it's in his diaper bag. We always have it. But you as well should always travel with Benadryl or any type of antihistamine or allergy medication, because you never know what you're going to eat that doesn't agree with you when you're traveling. And you want to make sure that, again, you have a stopgap, you have something that you can take it so that it doesn't get in the way of your trip. You can have immediate relief and you're not sick. Just a side note, I travel with young people and I've actually created international senior trip programs for high school students and middle school students as well. And I always travel with like a pharmacy. I literally call it the pharmacy run, where I go and I buy all of this stuff in big amounts so that if anything happens to the kids, if anything happens while they're with me, we are prepared to handle it. And trust me, it does and it will happen. So I just wanted to come in and make sure that you are prepared for when it happens with these must pack items. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you learned something new today. Pass it on to someone who could use this, and I will see you at the next travel chat. Bye.